2001, I think, we were just talking about something. You're like, I think I want to go to Iceland.
Yeah. I really wanted to go to Iceland. I've been studying it, and I was afraid to go because, the internet was good at that time, but there was, I did a lot of research. I found out that people are mostly English speaking, but I was just like not wanting to head off into the Arctic Circle by myself.
Sure.
So you were kind enough to say, hey, I'd like to do that too.
Yeah, I said, I'll go.
Yeah.
And so we went in 2001, and then, since then, again, through innovation and just being a hustler, I think of the Detroit hustle, that's a thing is, you started doing tours there and taking people over and taking photographers.
It took me about 4 years after that. But the thing about that was you and I went, a couple months later, I went back on my own. And then, I realized that I didn't want to be this photographer that, and forgive me for those that you do that, but that drop into a place for a vacation and come home and make a book.
Right.
I mean, there's no way you've had a relationship with that place. There's no way you can really tell us anything about that place other than you're sending us a postcard that costs you a lot of money. You drove the ring road and pulled off at the same stop everybody else does. So I just felt like I really needed to keep working it. And being the photographer of not many means like I am, I just decided I said to start taking people on these trips to be able to go myself. So I did.
Well,
I
and
I like social photography.
You've probably been there half dozen times before you took a tour.
Before I took a tour. Oh yeah. I was pretty well versed in the place before I took anybody.
And and then people are you're guiding them. You're able to shoot a little bit. Although now I think you were saying it's just a lot of fun to shoot.
It's just fun to
hang out. And
what I really enjoy about these trips is very often this is a trip of a lifetime for people.
Yeah.
And I get to go on a couple of them a year.
Yeah.
And so there's the value, right? But yeah, I love seeing how they respond to it. It's really fun to see somebody wake up and come alive.
And why Iceland? I mean, I suppose
well,
that's more of a rhetorical question because once you've been there, it's intoxicating. But like
I think it was the idea of it being so fresh and or this is my imagination is that it was wilderness. I mean, not wilderness, but it was solitude. It was fresh. Not a lot of people had looked at it. I mean, people had been, Fred Picker, Stuart Clippard. A lot of people had been up to Iceland.
Yeah.
Linda Pond. God, tons of them had been up there photographing, but it wasn't really in our vernacular yet. People weren't looking at those images and thinking that's Iceland. And so I saw it as a fresh place to, piss on a tree. You know what I mean? It's like a place to go and work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I did. And, and it wasn't obviously because of me, but it really did grow.
There's no trees in Iceland.
There's no trees in Iceland.
So you peed on a rock.
There's a few. Yeah, I peed on a rock. Yeah, there's a few. But anyway, and that was the thing is that it wasn't what it is now, you know. And I fell in love with it, and couldn't stop going back.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know how many trips I've done now. I hesitate to count.
Yeah, it's got to be in the 30.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah. But it's so cool. And then that's, those workshops that you do in Iceland, they're travel tours / they're maybe not a workshop. It's more of a travel
tour. What I kind of build them at first.
But you're helping people with their photography.
Yeah, it was a collective trip.
Yeah.
A cooperative trip. But I would help anybody, and they learned a lot. But then the thing is, I learned a lot as well because a lot of the people that came were pretty good. I mean, like I've had Tim Rudman, I've had Jesse Alexander, I've had some big name people with me. Yeah, they were really.
Did you
good
let
times.
him drive the car really fast?
Yeah, he drove us really fast. He did the cornering. Yeah. No, Jesse was great. He's a really good guy, and he's been.
He's
Jesse's
a legendary.
He is.
Jesse's a legendary motorsports photographer.
Yeah, and he's in his 90s now, and he came with me the first time we went on a trip together. Jesse, I think, was 86 maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and he was great. You had to go drag Jesse in the van at the end of the day and stuff. And,
that's awesome.
But it was fun seeing people come alive, and that was Tim Rudman was one of those. He did his book now in Iceland, and he ended up going back many, many times as well. But the first time he went, he was not enamored with it. It was really funny. And
I struggled in Iceland. I didn't ever really get into shooting landscapes for part of my art. It was usually night photography, and I needed buildings and some collision of humanity, whether there wasn't people in the photos generally, but the point was, and then Iceland, intoxicatingly beautiful rivers and mountains and waterfalls, but, and I made some very memorable photographs for myself, and we showed
I remember
some
one in
together.
Skogafoss that was really beautiful.
Yeah. And I shot 4x5 and lugged that thing all over the place.
Oh God, I remember when it blew over.
Smashed my. Actually,
fortunately, it was just the filter.
It was just the filter.
Yeah, saved its ass. Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, but it fit perfectly your work, how you tone, how everything that you do in the darkroom.
Right.
It just really was the perfect canvas. Sorry for that metaphor for you.
And that became the second, big, other than Detroit, that became the second big love of mine. And I kind of originally started off as a photographer, with the Ansel Adams, Edward Weston kind of thing in mind. But those, I love those photographs to this day, but they quickly kind of became boring to me because they didn't see like I see. I see in selective focus and I see other ways. And so, I don't know, I'd gotten away from the landscape, and so that got me back into pure landscape shooting again.
Yeah.
Now, which has changed, because now I'm doing the same thing. I'm looking in Iceland for the collision of humans, because Iceland, boy, climate change,
Yeah.
Anybody out there has got to go to the extremes of the planet to find out what's really happening. In Iceland, it's scary because...
Greenland too, his neighbor is just like billions of tons of ice dropping every day.
What have I been going there now? So it's like 15, 16 years I've been going there, and there's major changes in the glaciers. I mean, miles of retreating. And not only that, but the plastics on the beaches. There's nowhere you can go now without seeing that. And so that's kind of becoming what I'm interested in, because, we are damaging this place so horribly, and even Iceland. In Iceland too, that was the explosion. When we were going there at the beginning, there was 200,000 people a year visiting. Now there's 3 million people a year visiting, and they really haven't done anything to the infrastructure to support that. So we're damaging the place, and it's kind of sad to see.